Business 101 students, hi, Catherine Robertson here. This is the second video for the week. If you are viewing this, you are in the Business 101 class this summer. Hopefully you're having an amazing July. I'm trying to get caught up on your homework. If you're turning your homework into me, you should have no problem getting full credit for the homework. So it is an easy amount of points. If you're turning it in on time, you're meeting the minimum requirements, you're using the textbook to answer some of the questions, you should have no problem doing well on the homework. And really, it's just a reiteration of either the PowerPoint or the textbook, those questions. Those are the honed questions that you will then also see on the exam. So I try to narrow down some of the chapter so that you have a little bit more focus as to what is on your exam. All right, so the exam instructional video is out, chapters 1 through 6. This is the weekly video now. Chapters 7 and 8, which are this week, are not due, or not part of the exam. They will be due next week. And what do I have on here? Even though they were revealed, I will give you an extra day. I'm fixing that right now to turn these in. So you will have, if you're having any trouble getting the homework done, let me know. But you have an extra day or so to turn in homework, chapters 7 and 8 that are posted. And I did send an email out, but you did not have an instructional video for 7 and 8. Now, the midterm, when you click on week 4, you'll see that there. Now, chapter 7, when you click on 7 and 8, you will see that chapter 7 is all about entrepreneurship. So this really kicks off, if you haven't had ENT 110, this really kicks that course off. Right, we offer a whole course on entrepreneurship, fundamentals of entrepreneurship, which is ENT 110. But it starts to talk about how, businesses. Chapter 7 talks about how small businesses, how they are for their owners, right? Like what they provide for the owner, the entrepreneur, what they provide for the community, the reason behind people start their own business, right? So, to be challenged, to have flexibility, independence, financial success, those types of ideas. And some people ask, could anyone be an entrepreneur, right? So I think, personally, I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs over the years, and they all bring a little bit something different to the table. The one thing that I do see, though, that is something that we all have within us is perseverance, right? And so as an entrepreneur, you do need to have perseverance, and you can work on that, right? That's a skill you can hone, so that when you run into an issue or you run into some sort of problem, right, you figure out a way to fix it versus let it slow you down too much or let it stop you, right? You figure out something new or a way around. And that's really one of the key success components of being or of launching a business, or being an entrepreneur, or being, an individual in the business community in any way, shape, or form. It's really about perseverance and, doing what it takes to get the job done, even if you run into hurdles, because guess what? Pretty much we run into hurdles in all ways, shapes, forms, whether we are starting our own business or we are working for a company, or even just in life in general, right? We all have hurdles that we can learn. We can be hurdlers, right? And learn how to swiftly and quickly, we can learn and teach ourselves basically a framework, right? That we can get through problems quickly and get through problems less phased than maybe we did at one point in our lives. So that idea of self-reliance, confidence, right? Those characteristics that make you a successful individual also make you a successful entrepreneur. So when you read through chapter 7, you will start to look at but then the nuts and bolts about starting a business, right? Like funding opportunities, thinking about different types of investors, researching marketplaces, looking at some opportunities that are out there, also considering different threats that might threaten your business. Maybe your business you get it off the ground, it's successful, and then all of a sudden there are certain things that will happen, right? These hurdles that are actual threats. Different tools out there, Small Business Administration. There is we have a local SBDC, but we also have the national, right, federal Small Business Administration that offers a lot of tools. So the SBA.gov, if you want to go to that and look at some of the tools that the federal government offers. And also what you'll see here are some pros and cons to starting a business. It's not for everyone, right? Everyone does not have the bandwidth really to start a business. Maybe not today, right? But maybe down the road you want to start a business, or maybe you've already started a business, right? So you know how that feels. So depending on where you're at on your journey, on your life journey, you'll be taking this chapter a little bit differently. So if you have questions, just explore this chapter, and I will post a few things there for you. SBDC is housed in the first floor of Gannon. They just happen to house I think we have 8 across the state, small business development centers that do different things to help entrepreneurs get their businesses off the ground. And so if you have interest in that, let me know. Let anyone at the college know, and we can point you in the right direction. And so that is Chapter 7. You're going to dive into that. There is a homework assignment for Chapter 7. And we start to switch gears a little bit with Chapter 8. So when you skip over to Chapter 8 and you're reading through that, I do have a video up there that talks a little bit about accounting. And I know some of you have taken accounting courses, you do accounting, or maybe you are currently taking an accounting course, right? And so really the idea behind accounting is organization, right? Organization of money coming in and money going out. And so in this idea that we have assets, we have things that are worth money, but we might not fully own, right? A lot of us own a car or own a house, but we have a payment on it of some sort. We have a car payment or we have a mortgage, right? And so whatever, maybe we own a house and the house is worth $150,000, right? Typically a house is one of your largest investments, right, in your lifetime. And so if your house is worth $150,000, but maybe you have a mortgage on it for $100,000, right? You technically, $100,000 is owned by somebody else, right? It's owned by the bank. And the house may be worth $150,000, and maybe you've already paid down or you put money down of $50,000. So you do have equity, that's called, in the house. And so really the idea is this asset, the house that's $150,000, is equity and liability. A liability is what you owe somebody else. So you owe a bank $100,000, you owe and $50,000 is equity, money that you have in the house, right? And so they have to equal each other. So 100,000 plus the 50 is 150,000 equals the total price of the asset, or worth of the asset, which is 150,000. So that's really accounting in a nutshell. However, I do have a quick video for you separate from me, listed here, Chapter 8, Accounting Basics, Accounting Equation Basics. So when you dive into Chapter 8 and you start to look at accounting, decision making by the numbers, and you look at some of the things offered by Chapter 8, it talks a little bit about the different statements, right? Statement of cash flows, balance sheets, talks about the Financial Accounting Standards Boards, and the principles by which we think of accounting and by which we operate, right? The guidelines, generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP or GAAP. And so Chapter 8 starts to talk a little bit about accounting and dives into some of the relevant sheets that you use. The other thing about accounting is there are a couple different types of things that we're interested in, not only when we talk about budgetary needs, right? So budgets are an important part of what accountants do, but we have accountants that do things for internal usage, right? So we have managerial accountants that work for things within the business and budgets within the business and figure out where money is coming and going within the business, right? Financial accounting is coming up with coming up with paperwork and coming up with documentation and following the guidelines set forth by the IRS and set forth by external shareholders, right, stakeholders, that they need to understand what's happening financially with your business, right? Whether that's upcoming investors, maybe vendors that you deal with, they want to see how financially secure your business is, and they can tell by looking at your accounting sheets. And so in Exhibit 8.5, slide 23, you will see there the differences between financial and managerial accounting, and I believe that is also a homework question. So go through Chapter 7 and 8, watch the video this week, complete the homework, and enjoy a little bit of your summer. If you have questions, as always, you can text me anytime, 814-490-6473. I typically will only get back to you during the day, right? Like 9 to 9. So not in the middle of the night, but you can text me in the middle of the night if that's when I just won't answer my phone, right? You can email me anytime as well. Oh, there goes one of my golden retrievers. They're wrestling. And you know, I'm easy to reach. I can meet you on West Campus. I can meet you on East Campus. I really can meet you on any of the campuses if you need to. If we set up an appointment, super easy. I don't bite, so go ahead and set up an appointment if you think you're falling behind, you're worried, or you just have questions, right? Maybe you're starting your own business and you have questions about that. Let me know. I'm here for you. Again, I hope you're having a great summer and you're enjoying the Business 101 class and you're getting your feet wet here at the Erie County Community College. Thanks so much.